Don't let the haters stop you from doing your thing. This quote comes from the iconic character of Kevin Apor from Mean Girls, the rapping mathlete, coolest kid on the block. I remember when I was in year 7, I went through this phase where I was completely, utterly obsessed with Kevin G. And every time people heard Kevin G's rap, whether it be at slumber parties, watching the movie, or just back at home, everyone would turn to me, and it was my moment to successfully say all the lines of his rap. No stumbling, no pausing, nothing. 2 minutes immersing myself in this character. Similar to how I had my 2 minutes immersing myself in the character of Kevin Apor, Rajiv Surendra, the man himself who played the role of Kevin G, spent 10 years of his life chasing and immersing himself in the character of Pi Patel, the lead character of Ang Lee's film Life of Pi. Rajiv Surendra had this big dream inside him, an ambition that was waiting to be unlocked. But the question is, what inspires people like Surendra, people like you and me, to follow someone else's story? I believe this comes down to all of us, who often want to impersonate our heroes. Take me, for example. In year 9, I was experiencing challenges with my friend groups, because let's be honest, year 9 is the year we all have problems with our friend groups, I'm pretty sure. And one day, by total chance, I was walking by the cafeteria at school, and a girl bumped into me introducing herself. Hi, my name's Lillian. And the story starts here. I did everything I could to be this girl, like she was the light to me. She was kind, and she was really funny, and she was really popular. And we became really good friends. And my stalker obsession would come to the point where I would, stalk her Instagram, look at her deep posts. I'd come to school being like, where's Lillian? Yeah, but I promise I'm not that creepy, okay? And I talk to her to this day, and we always joke about my past stalker obsession. All jokes aside, I was inspired by Lillian. Seeing the similarities with us gave me hope for the potential within me to be the best that I could be. However, it's not always good to be inspired and then to just impersonate, because this can be quite limiting. With Rajiv Surendra, boy was he inspired. He ensured he did everything he could to get the role of Pi. He himself was so stunned with the similarities. Both were 5'5" with coffee-coloured complexions. Both shared a South Indian culture. Both lived by a zoo. And the very minute he discovered Life of Pi would be made into a major motion picture, he was convinced that playing the role of Pi was his destiny. It was his fate. And so began his great leap of faith on embarking on a quest to embody this 16-year-old Tamil schoolboy. He quit university and bought a one-way ticket from Toronto to South India. He visited the sacred stone temples of Pondicherry. He came face to face with a tiger. He learned how to swim. He even went to the lengths of communicating with the author of the book to discuss the character of Pi. He also befriended a pack of Tamil schoolboys in his trip to South India, and he gained insight by emulating the behaviours of them to further strengthen his character development. He was set on this idea: I am doing everything I can to be Pi Patel. And yet, all the while he was doing this, all the while he was on his quest, his journey of embodying this 16-year-old Tamil schoolboy, he was living a big life full of experience. And with that, he himself was growing as a person and discovering parts of himself he never knew existed. He was embracing himself in his home culture. He was meeting new people. He was taking all those opportunities. And Rajiv Surendra did in fact get the role of Life of Pi. And you can see how that would feel, dedicating 10 years of your life to something and then in the end failure, it all being thrown out. I know this story because I was reading his memoir where he reflected on this journey, the memoir being called Elephants in My Backyard. And when I finished the book, I was in tears, being the emotional sap I am. However, near the end of the book, it struck me. Despite the failure, despite all that sadness and disappointment, while he was following another story, following the story of Pi Patel, he ended up creating his own. As I mentioned, he was taking all those opportunities and discovering parts of himself he never knew existed. He was living a life full of experience, and when we all should live a life full of experience. He found the similarities with Pi Patel and himself, and he was inspired. And we all should be inspired by people. It is when we are inspired we live that life full of experience. But keep in mind the fine line between inspiration and impersonation. We need to understand that one simply cannot be another person, because we were made to be the people we are today and embark on our own journey. Having this knowledge, we should embrace it. Isn't it a cool thing to know that with 7 billion people on this planet, we are all different, none alike. And we are all important and special in our own ways. No one has that same character as you. No one can have the exact same personality and likes and dislikes. No one has the exact same ideas and passions like you do. Every individual on this planet has something different and unique to add into this world. By all means, be inspired by people, but please don't forget that fine line of inspiration and impersonation. And please don't forget that you are important and you are special and you should embrace that. As Dr. Seuss says, today you are you, that is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. Thank you.